everyone, welcome to the RSN Carnival Studios, where each and every Saturday we bring you premium coverage of Melbourne and Sydney racing. This Friday night we'll be covering Moonee Valley and of course the big build up to Sydney's championships. Don't know if anyone in the Sydney media yet has mentioned the championships, but we will be covering it on Carnival. Twitter nearly exploded when Vince Accardi on Saturday, Rosehill Race 3 said Tarquin most advantage. This is a really good bet. It was just 15 to 1. So Vince just needs to lift a little bit. Very good love there for that. For Dino's fantastic mounting yard analysis. And I've even got my head wobble. But so all my stuff's the racetrackralphy.com.au, and you'll be able to get my Friday set from Moonee Valley and Bendigo this Saturday, which we're looking forward to. We'll be covering both right here on Carnival. If you enjoy this service where we have found a few winners, thumbs up would be appreciated, a like, and even sharing it with your friends would be very, very much appreciated. As we go to the videotape, and race one on the program was won by Pasadena Girl, who was the fastest horse last time, and she was the fastest horse again this time.
300 metres, Heir Apparent raced up to Andrioli, followed by Results Pursuits. Pasadena Girl's work to the outside. She's coming home, and so too right on the outside is Magnet. It's Heir Apparent the leader. Now Pursuits is getting going on the inside of her, and down the outside, Pasadena Girl. She finishes the stronger. Pasadena Girl got up and won it by a long head on the line to second Heir Apparent.
Pasadena Girl, 2 from 2, but totally different circumstances. Her debut win was a real fast, continuous race. And if you want to see which way the market goes, it always goes for horses that show speed as opposed to class, weight drop, etc., etc. It won its debut in fast enough time to be competitive in a Blue Diamond. Whereas on Saturday, the vision matched the data. Slow early, held up, looking for an out, exploded late, but it really, really exploded late with the best 400 and 200 of the day. Now, sometimes that can just be running past tired horses. On this occasion, none of them had used any work, and she'd been going so slowly, it was a huge explosion of speed. It's a pretty smart horse, Pasadena Girl. Don't underestimate it. Race 2 in the program was won by a very promising kid. He started off somewhere in South America. His name's Jose Moreira. Or was it Joe Moreira? Whatever it is, he's a winner.
Heels ahead of her. Systonic with the widest runner, a fair bit to do. Coming towards the 200 metres now, and Pittsburgh Flyer raced up and tackled Earthquake. They've beaten off Tudor, but it's Pittsburgh Flyer. Joe Moreira put the head in front. Earthquake tries to fight back. Pittsburgh Flyer a bit too good though, and beat Earthquake by a neck. Good photo for third, ready to fight.
Post-race, Dean Lester said this could be the ultimate gear change. 12 months ago we were saying the ultimate gear change was gelding, when Lankan Rupee was gelded and then won the Triple Crown. This time that's the new ultimate gear change. Moreira on. And Pittsburgh Flyer, well, it ran really well, and from the boring analytical stats, can we make some money perspective? Be careful here. A few of these favourites ran badly. A few of these favourites were in the middle of the track, like Nostradamus, and Systonic was well below her best from previously at Moonee Valley. So, no big numbers from the race. Let's just, to use a technical term, the form until we see something different. Race 3 in the program, Jamaica. Didn't go very fast, but fast enough to win because Nick Hall owned the race early.
Jamaica at the 200 metres, the filly led by about a length and a half. Coming home as La Zumba. The fillies fight it out here with about 100 metres left to go. And Jamaica fighting on, drifting out a little bit, but Jamaica's too strong and she's won it by a length on the line, La Zumba. Sompere's got up for third in the photo, I'd say, from Grenington and Queen
well,
of
as
Wands.
We said last time, Jamaica Size Produce was her go. This was a terrible race, to be honest. Nothing of talent from the race, possibly with the exception of Jamaica, because once she went to the front, she slammed the brakes on, always a negative on Vince Accardi's dailysectionals.com.au figures, and then picked up again. So she's the one with talent, all the others were just slow. So Jamaica probably at the end of her prep, job done, come back as a 3-year-old, can't put a ceiling on her yet, but very, very nice horse in the making. But the numbers themselves from the race, fairly plain. Race 4 in the program, another promising kid was riding a horse called Suavito. His name was Damien Oliver. The speed mapper was in a bit of trouble, so what he did, he took the speed map out of the equation by going to the front.
3:50 to go, and Suavito a length in front from Jackano Bay. Smoke and Joey starting to wind up. Corkum and Sartorius down to the inside, but Suavito kicking on really strongly at the 200. Leads by a length to Smoke and Joey all out. Corkum on the fence and Sartorius, but Suavito keeps running strongly to the line. The favourite home, Suavito a length and a half. Sartorius, Corkum got third. Smoke and Joey
Dream started the prep for Nigel Blackiston for 2 reasons with Suavito. Obviously winning, that's a nice step 1, you know, Group 1, Group 2. But more to the point, neither of these races have been overly tough for her because they've been building speed races. She is now ready to go to Sydney and be very, very competitive. If she stays here, she'll smash open anything here. If she goes to South Australia, she'll smash open anything there. If she goes to Sydney, I'm not stamping her as one who can win, but she is one who can be very, very competitive because she's still got another peak in front of her. Sartorius, what a return from that old boy. He's just a ripping horse. Dean Lester reporter on Carnival. He just paraded in sparkling fashion and ran to his report there from the mounting guard as per usual from Dino. So if he has another run this prep rather, he probably win. He may only have the one run because it could be just a cameo, come back for the spring. But another prep for Sartorius, be with him. Shoreham's in for a good preparation, big mid-race squeeze. And Smokin' Joey, he won last year's Goodwood. He can win this year's Goodwood. Looked plain, it wasn't. It was a huge mid-race squeeze. Back to 1200 if they freshen him up, or maybe to Brisbane. He's got a big race in him, Smokin' Joey. He's still racing very, very well. Race 5 on the program here. Well, Whale, we said last time she'll run back to her starting price as opposed to her third place position, and she won, but she had the breaks. Sabatini, oh lordy me, was this a big run from too far back?
Exclusive last letting down. Well, Whale trying to get a run between horses and does get over heels now. And Sabatini struggling to get to in the moment. It's Vesely tackled by Whale. Whale at the 100-metre mark and Vesely. Sabatini coming late, but Whale drove to the front late and Whale scores by 3/4. Either Sabatini or Vesely for the Miners.
So the PR for Whale, perfect run in transit. I think Michael Walker got a little bit of time, but we don't worry about that. We're punters. We don't actually care what goes on. Sort of. But Sabatini was just monster from too far back. But here's the one that we really want to stamp here is Bayuna. Now, its run was virtually identical to Sabatini without the rock hard. Sabatini had won its first 2 starts for the prep, without its race smarts, without its deep conditioning. Bayuna, we're going to make a lot of money on her. So stick with her. She'll probably win next start, and she'll definitely win. Lots of wins in store for Bayuna. Race 6 on the program here. The Newmarket. Lots of us looked at how fast this race would run. It's going to be really, really fast. There's one problem. It wasn't in the first 400 metres, and Moreira owned the race on Brazen Bow.
Tries to get into the clear, but Moreira shot the 3-year-old Brazen Bow 2 in front of the 200 metres. They might battle to get to him here. Terra Vista, Lincoln, Rupee, Chautauqua starting to flash home, but Brazen Bow, the miracle man Moreira, Brazen Bow by 3 lengths to Chautauqua. Terra Vista's run third, and Lord of the Sky held on.
So what do we take from the race? Well, Brazen Bow actually is an unknown because it was an 800 metre dash home. How much more has he got to give? It's still not definitive whether he can run a blisteringly fast 1200. He's a good horse. He won the Cormore. He won the Newmarket. You don't fluke doing that. But the other 3 ran badly. Lankan Rupee, it's since been established he had an issue. Is Chautauqua and Terra Vista just a half length better than Lord of the Sky? Oh, I'd think not. So that's tempo. Chautauqua next start. TJ Smith in Sydney. His favourite now. I don't know what will be in the market come the time, but Chautauqua will win the TJ Smith in Sydney. Terra Vista will, if he's going to be beaten Chautauqua, it'll be by Terra Vista. There's your Quinella right there. But forgive those horses as far as the race shape. The jocks, they looked at each other and got it wrong, but hey, some of us did as well. Spillway won the Australian Cup, and it was a murderous tempo race.
Platinum as they go to the 200, but Spillway is starting to eat up the ground on the outside, and here comes Extra Zero and Happy Trails. Spillway hit the front, Extra Zero and Happy Trails after him. Spillway, Extra Zero storming at him, they hit the line. A photo finish between Extra Zero and Spillway. Not really sure about
well, if
that.
You just follow racing come carnival time in the finish, oh, Extra Zero's unlucky. If you follow it year round like we do, you go, it's a photo finish. Extra Zero won't be getting that photo finish. Spillway got the bob in. Super Ride Damien Lane to nearly catch it. Well done, Michael Walker, of course, but there's a show for the hard-bitten punters. Don't worry about that. The story from this race, though, the cleaner's brutal tempo, 17.3 lengths above average to the 800. How did he hang on? How did Entirely Platinum hang on? I'm looking at it this way, that the rails was advantaged, as good as the runs as they were. So be a bit careful on some of these. The ones from back in the field, there's just one I want to find. Sometimes the market gets sick of forgiving a horse, but sometimes a horse has legitimate excuses each and every time. That horse's name is Axar. If you see Axar in the right race next start, Axar will win that race, and he'll probably be good odds because he hasn't been winning. He hasn't had things go his way. Race 8 on the program. We've just come off 2 Group 1s in the Newmarket and the Australian Cup. This was the best horse of the day, Noble Protector. She's a superstar.
Gives chase. They're followed by Marianne starting to work home, and then Set Square, but Noble Protector broke clear at the 200. Precious Gem can't go on. Set Square, Marianne, Benaria battling away well, but it's all behind Noble Protector, who's going to romp it in. She's very good. Won it by nearly 4 lengths to Marianne just in front of Set Square. Close fourth, Fenway best work.
We can't do what Noble Protector did without being a real big talent, and try and factor some other things in. Brutal speed early first up. Why did Craig Williams do that? Because that's the confidence he had in this horse. To ask her to do that, to drop off the speed mid-race and go again. So Williams obviously has so much confidence that this horse is an elite level horse, then the numbers come through and they're elite level numbers. This horse will win a stack of races, and when it goes to Sydney, the Sydney market will probably risk it because it's from Melbourne. It's a really good horse, and we're going to be sticking with Noble Protector every start it goes around. Anywhere. Last race on the program, Amarino won last week over 1400 at Flemington, drove himself to the races again and went round and won again.
Prospect boxed up. Amarino's gone past him now. St. Orsina in front. Amarino starts to wear him down on the outside. Amarino moved to St. Orsina. Amarino put his head in front, draws clear late, and Amarino wins again. He's found a way to do it by a length and a half, either Gracious Prospect or St. Orsina for the minors.
So Amarino, very good win. That might be it for it. Not saying I'm not writing it off, but I'm just saying as far as betting it, next start, St. Orsina, when horses show pace first up in a prep, they're the ones you want to be with. So we're going to stick with St. Orsina, we're going to stick with Sartorius for sure, and XR in the right race. As far as the elite level performers are concerned, Noble Protector in anything, and obviously Chautauqua and the TJ Smith. All my stuff, as mentioned, racetrackralphy.com.au and Carnival this Friday night at Moonee Valley and this Saturday at Bendigo.